This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto after 11 straight wins at the Dome. The Jays' home win streak was finally snapped last night, as the Yankees won a back-and-forth thriller. And with the win, the Jays leading the AL East is back to 3, but another Boston loss still has them 6th out of 1st. Let's look bigger picture here though, because despite their lead in the division, the Yankees are actually still favorites to win the AL East, with the Jays' odds to win the American League at 7-1 and the World Series at 20-1, which are pretty long odds for the team with the 4th best record in baseball, and they're just a game behind the Cubs for the best record in baseball. So with the trade deadline looming on July 31st at 6 Eastern, how aggressive will the Jays be? Well, ESPN's Buster Olney was on First Up, and here's what he had to say.
Other teams are telling me they're going to be as aggressive as any team before the deadline. Now, what that means in this, relatively thin marketplace, we'll see. You guys have seen the speculation connecting them with Eugenio Suarez, who is going to be the biggest name move before the trade deadline. And you could see why Toronto would be interested. But here's the thing. They're competing against a lot of teams for Suarez, if in fact they're going to go all in on him.
Okay, so go all in then. If they have the farm pieces over the Yankees, get him. Outside of Suarez, though, what else could the Jays be after? Well, their biggest need at the deadline appears to be pitching. Mostly starter, but adding a bullpen arm would really help. Well, according to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, the Jays are entering the mix for Pirates starter Mitch Keller. For those of you who are just Jays fans and don't really watch much Pirates baseball, Keller's a 3.53 ERA and a 1.16 WHIP, as well as 97 Ks this season. So yeah, it'd be a pretty good add to the rotation. But don't be surprised if they also try to get in on a reliever as well. In my opinion, the Jays need more in the bullpen than starting pitching. Got something in there, boys? As we continue to preview all the divisions in the NFL, today we shift our attention to the AFC East. And if you're looking for consistency, this is the division for you, as it's had just 2 teams win the division since 2009. Seriously, do you know how long ago 2009 was? I don't want to think about it. The Pats won 11 straight, followed by the Bills winning the last 5 years. And checking last year's standings, this division wasn't even close, as the Bills were the only team with a winning record. Now, the only real concern for Buffalo as we start training camp is the status of running back James Cook, who's entering the final year of his contract, and he really wants to get paid. And yeah, we know he showed up for camp, but there were questions on whether he would practice or be a hold-in. Well, good news, Bills fans, as Cook was participating in practice today. Now, our friends at FanDuel are expecting more of the same in the AFC East this year, as the Bills are heavy favorite to win the division at minus 280. But here's a bit of a surprise. The Pats are actually behind them with the second shortest odds. And the hype is built around a second-year breakout for quarterback Drake May, and the arrival of new head coach Mike Vrabel, who's already in midseason form when it comes to dealing with reporters.
I mean, whether you were in a coma when I answered Tom's question, or typing on your phone or tweeting, I don't know, but I spent 5 minutes answering that question. And I can go back through it, but I'd rather not.
You know what? Yeah, that's valid. We should meme this. I need to use this for something. I just know it. Lock it in. Now, when it comes to the Dolphins, the books don't really know what to expect with this team, as FanDuel has heavy juice on over 6.5 wins, but also heavy juice on under 8.5 wins. So, thanks to math, are they a 7-win team? Or with the healthy Tua, could they not be a playoff team again? Which FanDuel has it just over 2-1. One thing's for sure, it's going to be tough to top a soundbite this season like this one from Tyreek Hill.
I was talking to my son on FaceTime last night, and his mom told me, she was like, one of the kids came up to him and was like, hey, you Tyreek Hill's son? He was like, nah, Justin Jefferson, my dad. I'm like, so I got him on FaceTime. I'm like, so Justin Jefferson is your dad? He was like, nah, Dad. I was like, well, tell Justin Jefferson to take your ass to Disney World then.
And then there's the Jets. Oh, the Jets. How do you even, man, imagine being a Jets fan. Poor Larry David. Poor Matthew Shinetti. Sticking with football, and mid-July is often the time that NFL teams love to unveil new uniforms. And this year has been no different. So today we're going to give you a rundown of all the new uniforms that have been announced over the last few weeks. Things start off with a bang with the Commanders, Bucks, and Chargers, all dropping some pretty clean throwbacks. We really love those Chargers ones, despite what Daniel Pignataro thinks. But maybe the best throwback of them all isn't even a jersey, but rather a helmet, as the Buffalo Bills are officially bringing back the red helmets, something the fan base has been asking for years. The Bills wore those helmets during the glory days of the 90s, but they haven't been seen for more than 20 years, and now make a return in Week 18 against the Jets, in what will be the final regular season game at the old Highmark Stadium. And if that's not one of the best instances of fan service you've ever seen, I don't know what is. But not all jersey reveals are made equal. And the new uniforms the Saints and Steelers announced aren't interesting to say the least. New Orleans dropped these new gold unis, which would be the first time they rocked the gold since 2002. But this time it'll be paired with the black helmet they've worn over the past few years. And while the gold jersey seems to complement this helmet a little better, we can't help but notice one pretty big flaw. The gold in the Saints logo is very clearly a different shade than the jersey. And what's crazy is that this isn't even a new problem for New Orleans, as they had multiple jerseys just last year with the same problem. I don't understand how hard is it to match the colors unless this is their intent, they want it to be shades of gold? But as infuriating as New Orleans' lack of attention to detail is, they don't even come close to the worst jersey drop of the offseason, as that belongs to the Steelers. Monday they announced they'll be wearing these jerseys for one game next year. And yeah, we know they're paying homage to some of their past jerseys, most notably their 70th anniversary jersey from '94. But really, this is what you decide to bring back? And making matters worse, guess which game they'll be wearing these for? The Sunday night showdown against the Packers. So in likely the only game between an all-time legend and his former team, the Steelers might be rocking one of the worst jerseys of all time. How poetic! I love it! That's it from Video Pacific and Northeastern New Pacific. Have a good one.